So, if you have experienced acid reflux, you know it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. Hi friends, thank you for clicking on today's video. You're welcome to my channel. My name is Tatian. If you're stopping by for the very first time, today's video is going to be all about how I healed my acid reflux. So keep watching. So if you have experienced acid reflux, you know it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. It's that feeling of something being stuck in your throat. You feel like there's a lump in your throat, there's something stuck in your chest. That's what I would say. Those were like some of the symptoms I experienced in my case, and it was so uncomfortable. So basically, acid reflux is equally known as GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease. And acid reflux, in simple terms, is just when the acid that is supposed to be in your stomach helping you to digest your food keeps coming up to, let's say, to your esophagus, and it's just very uncomfortable. The acid is meant to stay down in your stomach to ease or aid your digestion, but once it starts coming up, then there's definitely going to be issues. There's going to be issues in digestion, and equally like long-term issues, like you could run a risk for further complications. So some of the symptoms that I experienced with acid reflux was, I think I already mentioned this, but it's the feeling of food being stuck in your throat or in your chest. And no matter how many times you like chunk down like a cup of water, a glass of water, or a jug of water, it still won't help the situation. So my situation with acid reflux got really worse when after eating a meal and I tried to like lay down and watch TV, and it felt like I was literally having a heart attack. Yes, as crazy as it sounds, yes, that was how I was feeling, and I was having uncomfortable feelings in my chest. Like my chest felt like it was on fire, my stomach felt like it was on fire. I was going through it, and at this point I was like over it, and I told myself, okay, I have to go make a doctor's appointment. So I met up with my healthcare provider and I explained my symptoms to the doctor, and right away he kind of like suggested I could be struggling with acid reflux. So he did routine questions asking about my family history and all of the good stuff. And when I told him, yes, my mom has had acid reflux in the past, he kind of said it could be hereditary. Yeah, and he equally suggested I take some tests. Actually recommended I take 2 tests, which was the first test was supposed to be an H. pylori test. So this is basically a stool sample test, and the second test was GI fluoroscopy. So this test is meant to do an X-ray of your stomach, your esophagus, and your duodenum, and which is part of your intestine. So I was booked to taking this test. So after I took this test, my results were sent to my doctor, and then my doctor then called me and let me know I was then officially diagnosed with acid reflux. So honestly, it has been a nightmare dealing with acid reflux. Like, I have been scared to eat meals because I'm scared of it, like just having that constant feeling of like food being stuck. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat anything, I'm just going to stay plain of foods, I'm not going to eat, so I don't have any need for any digestion issues. But still, that didn't really help. So once I was diagnosed with acid reflux, doctors suggested that I make certain changes to my lifestyle changes that he was recommending was eating healthy, like dietary changes. Yeah, he suggested I adjusted my diet, and so it felt like I was being convicted or sentenced to something. So he told me
no tomatoes, no chocolate, no spicy foods, no fried foods, no packaged dinners, no. It was like
okay, so what am I going to eat? This was like no this, no to this. It was like no to citrus fruits, no to like pop. I couldn't have any of those things. Like in my defense, I don't really drink pop, but I'm a fan of spicy food. Like I love my food really spicy. When I was told I couldn't really eat all of these things, I was like, okay, I was devastated. I couldn't have chocolate. I couldn't have, like, I felt like I had no other option. So I was really, really discouraged, and I felt like, okay, I had nothing else to eat. Like I felt like I was being deprived, or I was being like restricted. Yeah, obviously I was restricted, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling really happy about it. So I tried at first, like the first week, I tried to eat healthy. So the doctor actually suggested I like stay plain, or like kind of like going on an alkaline diet, which was like eating fruits, having vegetables and eating certain fruits like watermelons. So I tried to like stick to the doctor's recommendation for as much as a week, and it really, I just could not see myself eating really bland food and not having like chocolate for my breakfast, and like I just felt like, okay, I'm over this. So I continued back with my regular eating habits, and you know what, the pain that I had before was joking. So this time around, it was worse. So it felt like my heart was coming out of my chest. Okay, I felt like I was going to die. So at this point, I decided to take the doctor's advice. I decided to like work strictly on what I was eating. So I equally made like research. I went on the internet. I equally went on YouTube. Like this was a good place where I could get information. So I looked into different meals, how I could make my meals interesting. I'm going to attach certain images of some of the nutritious meals I made for myself. Yes, I know that sometimes going on a diet, you feel like you're missing out on certain meals, and yeah, but honestly, I went on Pinterest and I got, is that how we call it? Pinterest? Pinterest? Okay, whatever. But I went on Pinterest and I found like different meal plans, so different meal prep ideas, and that was how I was able to come out with various meals like this and like this. I equally went into juicing, so juicing is very important. So I went into juicing, and that really helped me by what is causing your acid reflux. So for me, one of the things was stress. So I was really stressed at that particular point in my life while I was dealing with acid reflux. I was moving, going through life changes, and this really affected me. Like it really affected me. And there's just something with stress and your digestive system that I don't know how to explain it, but stress definitely affects your digestive system. So that was a major thing for me. So after I moved into, also after I moved, I was moving. So after I moved, I kind of like was able to settle down and rest and not having to worry a lot. So that kind of really helped me. So another tip will be, do not lie down after having your meals. As simple as that. So that was one of the causes of my acid reflux. I would, after having a meal, I would immediately go to the bed or go on the couch and I'm laying down. That is the worst thing you can do for yourself. Do not. If you're doing that, you have to stop it. You have to stay sitting up in an upright position like I'm doing right now for about, let's say, an hour 30 minutes, or 2 hours at most, at least. That will help with getting the food all down in your stomach and like let it digest and let it stay down. But the moment you eat and you go on the couch and you try to lay down, so you're just going to have all the food like reflux back all the way to your throat, like, because when you're having acid reflux, your lower sphincter is like really weak. So if you go and lie down immediately after having your meals, then that's a no. Thing was drinking warm water. So my mom actually gave this advice to me. Like she told me like you have to drink warm water, and drinking warm water really helps with your digestion. So I will have a glass of water every day in the mornings and especially at night, like at the end of the day, after I had completed my night routine, I'm going to have myself a big cup of warm water that should just like push everything down. And after doing that, like doing this regularly, I tend to see certain changes. And I could see how the reflux was getting a whole lot better. So I stick to my diet, I stick to the all these recommendations, and I could see myself really getting there and getting really healthy. So most of the recommendations I've suggested or provided here are like little tweaks that you can do or you can implement into your life to just adjust. Like lifestyle changes is like key to dealing with this acid reflux, but the most important thing is you have to identify what is causing your reflux. It could be stress, it could be you laying down immediately after a meal, it could be you eating lots of fatty foods, which you have to cut down, because like you have to cut down on the amount of fatty food you take in, because like it works your digestive system in trying to digest all this fats. So yeah, so I hope this video is helpful to anyone dealing with acid reflux and or GERD. And I would say this advice is based on my own situation, and just knowing that I actually went to see the doctor and I got a proper diagnosis and I got recommendations from the doctor. Yes, in my case I wasn't put on any proton pump inhibitors or acid reducers. No, I wasn't put on any of that. So that's why I would say my healing came naturally. Like it came from the foods I was eating, from adjustments to my lifestyle and my daily habits. And yeah, so if you're dealing with acid reflux at this stage in your life, it's going to get better. It's not the end. I know it might be very uncomfortable, it might be very painful, but you will get through it. Oh, I just remembered. So another thing that you can do is to help with your acid reflux is you try to sleep on your left side. Sleeping on your left side kind of helps. It helps in my case. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope to see you guys on my next one.